Yo, what's up? I'ma kick it with the lines, y'all know. Yo, Slim, can I kick it like this? Here we go. Well, it's time to make that change. People of the world today are fading. All of us have our ups and downs. You better think about it or you won't be around. What we need is a little bit of love. Sent by one from heaven up above. Chicken from tea is simple and plain. This ain't no game, you know what I'm saying? What? Yep, yep. Here we go. Oh, yeah.
Hello, I'm Tommy Meeks, and I would like to welcome you to another edition of It's Time for a Change. When you think about the word change, take a look at the possibility of a young man from Rockford, Illinois, breaking the Illinois high school rushing records, and I'm sure probably touchdown records. We'll find that out as I interview the greatest running back in high school sports in the history of the state of Illinois, and that's an accomplishment. I'd like to welcome to my show James Robinson. How you doing, James?
Doing good, how are you?
I'm doing just fine. Now, when you hear people talk about you as the greatest running back in the history of the state of Illinois, how's that feel?
It feels pretty good. I mean, when I say that, it just lets me know that I've done a good thing in football in my career, and I just think of it as just like another accomplishment.
Yeah. Now, let's go back to the very beginning. What made you want to play football? Was it something you saw? Was it something your friends told you about? How did you get started?
Well, when I was younger, when I was about 5, I was playing basketball at first, and I didn't really like play football that much. And then, because I loved basketball more than football at first, and then I started playing flag football, and then I started to like that a lot. And then my mom asked me if I wanted to play like tackle football, and I always used to play that in my yard, stuff with my friends. And then we went to a program called the YMCA, where I played for 3 years, and from there I just started to love football more than
Now,
basketball.
was that flag football at the Y? Or was it
For
tackle?
both. Well, for flag football, it was for the Salvation Army.
For the Salvation Army. When did you? I know in the very beginning when you first started playing, because I played a lot of football too. When did you realize that you really had some talent running the football? When did that light bulb go off in your head?
I felt like when I played for the Y, there was one year where every time I touched the ball, I scored, and
That's a good light right there.
and then from there, a lot of people just told me that I was pretty good, and then actually keep it going and stuff like that.
Now, did you play Pop Warner football?
Yeah.
Was that the Y you're talking about? Was that different?
That was different. That was after I had played for the YMCA.
How was Pop Warner football? Because you got a chance to travel
Yeah,
a lot.
it was.
Talk about that a little bit.
For the Rockford Ravens, it was like a Chicagoland area. Played teams around from like different cities and stuff, and you travel to like Chicago and to like Bolingbrook and places like that, and play like teams like that and stuff. And it was just people from all around that can join the team or whatever.
Now, when you played Pop Warner, did you guys win the national championship? I don't really know. I know that it was real competitive at that level. How far did you guys go with Pop Warner?
Well, it was just it was a regular season, then it was playoffs, and then for Pop Warner it was state championship, and then the regional, and then you go to Orlando. But we won my 3 years that I was there. We won 3 state championships, and then we lost in the regionals all 3 years.
Now, when you played Pop Warner, did you play defense and offense?
Yeah, I went both ways.
Which one you liked the best?
Then it was probably offense.
Offense, yeah. Okay, after Pop Warner, you went to a middle school?
Yeah, I went
Yeah.
to West Middle School for my 6th grade and Kennedy for my 7th and 8th.
And you played in middle school as well?
For the Rockford Ravens going on them, I didn't play football for my middle school. I just
You
played
didn't?
for the Rockford Ravens.
Oh, you just played for the Ravens.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you get to high school. You're a freshman, right?
Yeah.
And you probably looked at some of them seniors as big grown men. or no?
Well, I mean, some of them were really big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You were at Lutheran?
Yes.
When they started talking to you about playing varsity football, how did that sound?
I wanted to play varsity when I got there because I started playing JV, but I never played a JV game. I just did like a 707 thing that was like a passing league or whatever.
Right.
And
that's what the JVs was?
yeah.
Okay.
And then my coach Bazal, he got started to see like my talent and stuff, so he brought me up.
As a freshman?
Yeah.
Now, when they brought you up as a freshman, did you start right away, or did you set the pine for a while and just look and want to get out there?
Well, I didn't start. I didn't start out like running back, like my position right away. But I started on the kickoff return, and then when I first touched the ball, I scored. And then
as a freshman?
Yeah. And there was a kid that was ahead of me. He was a junior at that time, and he had started the game a couple of times, and then like I went in, and the first five times I touched the ball, I scored. And then
as a freshman?
Yeah, I started after that.
Man, that is really remarkable. When I look at you talk, and I sit here, there was a running back that I interviewed years ago from Northern Illinois named Michael Turner. They used to call him Michael Turner the Burner, and he got picked up by the San Diego Chargers, and I interviewed him right out of college. He was a little bit bigger than you, a little stockier than you, but you remind me of him an awful lot. Michael had a great career with the San Diego Chargers, and he finished with the Atlanta Falcons. But I know you had some aspirations about playing pro football, but we're not going to get on that right now because there's no guarantee. Yeah. You have to know that. There's no guarantee that a person will go to that next level. But let's talk a little bit more about your high school days, because I want to know about your coach and talk about some of the teammates that you had all those 4 years playing high school ball, because you know football is a team sport. You can't do it by yourself. Yeah. Talk about your coach first of all.
Coach Bazal, when I first got there, he was like, some of the players told me that he was like really crazy, and like he yelled a lot. And then like I didn't like really, my coach like never like really yelled at me that much. But I know like when I get to college there's gonna be a lot of that, so I mean I was kind of used to it. But I didn't like it at the time, so like when he yelled at me I like didn't take it very well. And then like he started to look at me as a player like, you can't like really yell at me then. I just like when you tell me to do it, I'll just do it.
Right.
And then like he's just like the guy that wants to like make you be successful and make you work hard for stuff.
So he cooled down on the yelling part. You guys got like a happy medium where he would tell you something and you would accomplish.
Yeah, he yelled at me a couple of times like for stuff I didn't know that I was doing wrong.
Well, that's called learning. Yeah. You know, a lot of people can't take constructive criticism. They don't want to learn. But when somebody's criticizing you to do something right, they're trying to tell you how to do it. And, you know, it's good that you didn't, you know, fall in a tank. You know, some athletes, and I know you know some guys that you grew up with, great athletes, but they probably never played a down of high school sports, still in the neighborhood. What can you say about that? Because one reason why I want you on the show, because I'm not saying guys are as great as you as far as running the ball here in Rockford. But what can you say about the athletes that you know that have not lived up to their potential, maybe through grades or through different problems? I'm sure you had different guys that, you don't have to mention any names either, but just talk about the type of guys that you know have potential that could have gone on and become very successful in high school sports and maybe taken on to college.
I feel like there was a lot of them that would, but I don't think their passion was for football. It was probably for a different sport, but they didn't like take advantage of it or anything, or their talent. And I think they had the wrong people around them. Like they couldn't like focus or anything in school.
Well, you know, you brought 4 people here today, and we're going to talk to your mother toward the end of the show, but talk about those 4 people that's in the studio. How supportive were they every step of the way? How important was that to you?
It was really important. I mean, there were sometimes I would tell them that you didn't really have to come in the game, like if I knew it was a team that we were gonna beat or something like that. But they would just come anyway, just to like be there. And sometimes, I mean, my grandfather, he yelled sometimes. I like turn around, like try to tell him to stop, and stuff like that.
You got a little excited, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I got a daughter that's like that, and I ain't saying your grandfather was like that. My daughter gets a little out of character sometimes, but some parents take it to the extreme. I'm sure your grandfather wasn't like that, but when you were trying to get the record, how did that feel? I mean, you did it your freshman year, you did it sophomore year, and then people started talking how close you were getting. You had 2 more years to go after the first 2. When did you start thinking yourself, I can get this record?
I started just thinking, like, just keep playing the way I play. I mean, to me, it's just like another number that I'll get in the game. And it didn't change the way I play or anything. It's just, if the coach is going to give me the ball, I'm just going to continue to run how I usually run.
When we were out to dinner the other week, your grandfather told me you broke Emmitt Smith's high school record. Now, when you broke that, did you realize you had broken that? Were you going for it? Did you know anything about it? Or is it just something that came up later on?
I started to hear about that after I broke the record.
I look at you and I hit your arms a couple times. You sat next to me at dinner. I said, boy, this joker's solid as a rock. You don't get like that, just eating. What do you do to make your body as solid as it is? It's a lot of work.
I mean, just working out when you can a lot. And I mean, when I was growing up, everyone thought I was bigger than everyone, so everyone just thought it was like natural. And like when I got to high school, they'll say, because I didn't like really experience working out a lot, so they didn't think I worked out a lot. But when I was younger, I used to like work out with my uncle and all that, and that's what put on some of it. And then just drinking a lot of milk and stuff.
Now, I told you a while back, you're going to Illinois State. Brock Spack is coach there. I told you at dinner that Brock played with my brother Cedric in the backfield at East High School. I remember when those boys were in high school, I'd come home from college and try to catch a game. And Brock was pretty good. When he went on to Purdue University, I could tell that he was going to be somebody special. When he was recruiting you, did you really have a good connection with him? How did that work?
I think it was, we went down for a camp for Rockford Lutheran. We went down there 2 years, and then the second year, I think he started to see how tough I was and stuff, because they it was a couple of different teams down there from each area, and they put me and like this other kid in a drill together, and like they brought everyone around, stuff like that. And the first time, he when they said go, it was like a block and run. It was linebacker and running back, and the running back had to come up and hit the linebacker to block him, and I had to slip, and I fell on my stomach kind of, and then everyone just started yelling like that made me mad a little bit, because I didn't think he really did anything, and then after a couple other people went to end the practice that session, they made us go again, and then we did it again. I just knocked them over, and then
pancaked them.
Yeah, and then everyone after practice, everyone huddled up, and then after Coach Spack got done talking, he wanted to talk to me, but so I went up to him and I told him who I was and stuff, and I didn't tell him my name at first. This is the first time I went up to him, but so he just said good job and stuff like that, and then the guy that he sends down to recruit me, he told Coach Spack it was me that came up to him, and then he said, oh, and then he told me to come back, and then he started talking to me, and then that's when they offered me.
Now, you watched them. They went to the national championship game, and I think they lost in the last few seconds of the game, if I remember correctly. Did you watch that game?
I watched the first half, and then I started to watch a little bit of third quarter, and then I stopped watching for a little bit, and then when I went back to it and I saw that, I just like knew like it was done.
You know, when you get to school, it's going to be very important that you stick with the books. You know, they say football, but really, you got to hit the books so you can stay in school. I remember when I went to Eastern Illinois my freshman year, I thought Tim Demke, who runs the Park District here, and Gerald Bell, we all went to school together. And I just really thought that because I was, at least in my mind, I was good in football. That's what they wanted me for. But I found out pretty quickly the books are very important. They're even more important in college than they were in high school. What are your plans to make sure you stay on top of things while you're in college?
I would think for me it would just be getting stuff done on time and then getting what I need to get done before I have to go out for practice or something when I have time. Mm-hmm. Just getting everything done.
Okay. Now, when you broke the state record, can you describe how it really felt when you finally got that last yard or whatever? I mean, when you broke the record, was it a touchdown run?
No, it wasn't. It was about a 20-yard run or so.
Did they stop the game and give you the ball?
Yeah,
they did.
I didn't know that.
That you had done it.
Yeah, I didn't know that I had done it because our bar boy, his name Bobby. He's like a 6th grader. Uh-huh. I gave him the ball because we usually give him the ball after everything, and then everyone started cheering. Then they announced it, and then I started walking towards like my family that was in the end zone, and then he gave me the ball back, and it was just relieving to get it over with.
Mm-hmm. Boy, national. Did you feel that you could have went on and got the national record? You know how many yards you were off the national record? Did you keep track of that?
No, I didn't really keep track of it, but I was if I got the ball more, I probably would have broke it.
Broke the national record. Well, I tell you, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't come to any games. My grandson always wanted to go to Harlem games, and I would go to Harlem games. Sometimes I didn't go to no games, but always, every Friday night, I made sure I watched the news to see what you had done. And because they always showed, the best clips, And, man, you had some fantastic runs. How many touchdowns did you end up with for the year?
42 or something like that.
42 for the season, for that 1 year?
Yeah.
Now, what records did you break? Just the rushing record? Did you break the touchdown record or what?
Yeah, it was the rushing record, the touchdown record, and most points for
and most points for one athlete.
Yeah.
That is some great information. What do you bench press?
About 300 was the last time I did it, and I haven't done it in a while.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's pretty good. That's way more than I ever bench press. Matter of fact, I hate lifting weights. I flat out do. But I know at that level, you got to put the work in. We have about 5 minutes left. Then I'm going to bring your mother on to talk about how it is raising James Robinson. Talk a little bit more about some of your teammates that helped pave the way for this, because like we both know, I mean, you can run, but it's like when the coach draw the plays up, if your guys didn't block at all, I mean, the chances are it's going to be hard for you to run them touchdowns. Talk about your line.
My line, I mean, I'm bigger than most of everyone on my line.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, I feel like they depend on me, like when the game comes down to the wire, and sometimes I can get it done, sometimes I can't, and they know that. So they just do what they can, and I feel like they do a pretty good job at that. Mm-hmm. And I mean, just not like the offensive line that like could gets me there. I know that some of my teammates on the sideline, like last year, my junior year, I have my friend Joey Caravello that like he's been with me for I don't know how long, and he just tells me that I'm going to score. He just yells it, and then sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Man, Russian champion. Now, you went down to Springfield to meet the governor? Talk about that experience.
It was pretty nice. It was a really big building that I went to, and it was like, I don't really know how to explain it that much.
I mean, was it more athletes? Was it like a high school day for record breakers, or was this something that was just set up by
there was another guy that was there. He was like a bowler from Guilford, and he like broke the national record for I forgot what that was, but he was there too.
Okay, we have 3 minutes left. Your goal is to play pro football. I mean, this college thing, that's your stepping stone to getting there. You going to a proper school. I was thinking today, I knew I was having you on the show. I was thinking, some people say, well, Illinois State won't get in there. Well, Illinois State has some good guys that are in the pros right now. But I think of the guy named Doug Collins that played basketball for Illinois State. A lot of people used to say, well, that school's so small. You know, Doug Collins, you see him on the NBA at night. He had a great NBA career. It's what you do with the talent that you have. It don't matter what level. There's people right around Rockford say, well, he didn't play against anybody. You can't possibly be worried about those types of things. I'm sure you might have heard it at a certain point, but to show you how great you are, it takes a great back to be able to accomplish what you accomplished. I told you earlier, I can't think of the guy's name right now. I'm having a brain fart on it, but he played for, I think it was Byron or Stillman Valley, one of those schools. Yeah, that's it, Constantine. My cameraman, Kenny Burns, saved me again. See how it is, we work together. But he went on to play for Iowa, and he went on to win a Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens. And I bet you there were people saying, oh, the school is too small. He'll never make it. It's the work ethic that a person has. I can tell you got some good work ethic. You run a 4.5 40. You're gonna get it down to about 4.4. You gonna work hard to do that?
Yeah, I've been working on that like every time I go left.
Yeah. Well, I told you, I'm still gonna try to set you up with Mel Gray. Mel Gray was a world-class sprinter, and he coaches track at Jefferson now. He ran a 9.2 or a 9.100, and he was an alternate in the Olympics. If anybody in Rockford besides Mel Gray and my buddy Gerald Bell can help you get that at 40 time down, hopefully I can introduce you to both of them, have you talk to them, because I think if you get that down to a 4.4, 4.3, man, you're going to tear it up at every level you choose to go to. Okay?
Yes.
Work hard while you're in school, and know you got a big family here that's behind you. And I think you're going to reach your goals. Okay? I want to thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
All right? When we come back, I'm going to have James's mother join me to talk a little bit about how it is to raise the state champion in high school sports, rushing the football. We'll be right back.
Yo, Slim, can I take it like this? Here we go.
What do all these people have in common? They all graduated from Rockford area schools. Rock forward.
Well, it's time to make that change. People of the
I'm
world
Tommy
today
Meeks. I want to
motivate.
welcome you back to It's Time for a Change. I have the mother of James Robinson on my show, Trice Sagal. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing just fine. What a job you did raising that young man, but you didn't do it by yourself.
That's right.
Talk about your parents that helped you in this effort.
They are the most wonderful parents you could ever wish to have.
You can call them by their name so people know who they is, right?
Marlene and Elvin Brown.
All right.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, they're definitely supportive in any and everything that their kids and grandkids does. So
That's good. Now how did it feel? I mean, when James told me that they called him up as a freshman to play varsity football, were you a little scared, or you knew he could do it all along?
I knew he could do it all alone.
Really?
I wasn't scared at all.
Now, you a big football fan, or you just got involved when your son got good? Some mothers, my mother didn't even know nothing about football.
Well, I wasn't a big football fan. It's just that when you see your kid playing and you see the passion that they have for it, you become one.
Mm-hmm.
So I became a big football fan for him. So
Now, did you have to, like rein him in sometimes when the school work might have been falling short? Did you ever feel anything like that came up where he wasn't hitting the books like you felt he should or could have?
no, he's always put in. I've always taught him to give 100% in anything that you do.
Mm-hmm.
And in order for you to be able to do the thing that you love, you have to make sure this is in line first. So he definitely knows, and he's never not just done his homework, or if it was something that he didn't understand, he always let me know or told me I need to talk. Probably need to talk to the teacher or whatever, because he wants to play football. And if anything hindered him from that, then he wasn't having it.
Now, I'm sure you're going to try to get down to his, you're kind of happy you went to Illinois State. That's not that far away. You can get down to every home game.
Yep.
You plan on doing that?
I'm going to be at every game, and if I can get to the away game, I'll be at that one.
That's good. I really want you to finish up the show and talk about your son, because some people don't know what it takes to raise a young man today. All the trouble some young people get into, and I'm talking about young kids, 13, 14. You see some of the things. Now, your son, the stuff he got into is good. Were you worried about him at any point?
I wasn't per se worried about him. It's just the things that could happen to him, And I knew that as long as I kept him busy, there was no time for anything else. And so when I didn't have it, my mom and my dad had it. If I fell short of cash to pay for whatever, my mom and my dad had it. And if they didn't have it at the time, then there was Mark and Christy West. They were a big support too, that helped mold James into what he is today. So it's definitely support and pushing your kid and making sure when you commit to something, you make them commit to it and don't stray from that. Because if you want this is what you're gonna do, and you're gonna finish it. Always finish.
Now, when you used to go to those games, I know you had to been proud, but how proud were you when you're coming down the stretch and you knew he could probably get that record? It was just a matter of time. How did you feel about your son being labeled as the most successful running back in the history of the state of Illinois running the football?
It felt great to know that, that's just another title, but for me it was great because I seen you work from when you were 4 or 5 years old, and this is what you came to. All the hard work paid off, and you still got a long way to go, but just watching you and seeing the passion in it it feels great.
When I look at you and I look at your entire family, I think about a guest I had on years ago. Dwayne Wade Sr. came here, sit right in that chair. And he told me that when he got his son from his mother, who had a drug problem, he raised up Dwayne Wade, Jr., kept him at home. He said, Meeks, I put a fence up in my backyard. I didn't let no trouble come to my boy, his boys, because he had other sons. But you kind of remind me of that type of parent that made sure I'm taking care of mine like he took care of his. And his son is pretty successful in the NBA. We got 1 minute left. I know you want your son to go as far as he can go, right?
I do.
Yeah.
I want him to go wherever he want to go.
About 50 seconds left. Always remind them, football is great. It'll take you many places. but that college degree is very important.
That is first, always. School is first always, because you can get hurt at any point, and that could be the end of your career for football.
Yeah.
But with that degree, it can take you anywhere. And I told them, whether you're an NFL player or a police officer or somebody that work at Burger King, you're still my son. I'm gonna love you.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you've been a great role model, and Elvin and Marlene have been great grandparents.
Yes.
What's your daughter's name?
Samaj Childress.
Oh, okay. All right.
She's
There she
James backwards.
Samaj. Oh, okay. Okay, I got that. You did a wonderful job raising your children.
Thank you so much.
I'm so proud of you all, and I'm just thankful that you guys took the time to join me, and you've been the mother you've been.
I definitely appreciate it.
All right. I hope you enjoyed this show. You looked at history. You looked at one of the greatest athlete ever to come out of the state of Illinois running the football from Rockford, Illinois. Sometimes we don't give our own credit, but we're doing it here on my show today because it is time for a change. And I'll see you next time.
To make that change, people of the world today are fading. All of us have our ups and downs. You better think about it or you won't be around. What we need is a little bit of love, sent by one from heaven up above. Chicken from tea is simple and plain. This ain't no game, you know what I'm saying? What? Yep, yep. Here we go. Oh yeah. Yo, mob, kick it for me one time.